body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Friday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 23rd day of the month of August 2024. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer alongside our usual technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you and him are having a good day so far, that everything is going as planned, that you are optimistic and confident for today and for the weekend ahead. I want to send special greetings to those of you who are preparing to participate in the much talked about Walk of Progress that is due to take place, organized by the governing St. Lucia Labour Party on the 25th, that is Sunday coming, from 2:30 in the afternoon until, where they will start at the VG playing field, very popularly referred to as the SAB, make their way through town and end on the Castries market steps, which we know over the decades has been termed by the Labour Party and those in opposition as the University of the People. All right, folks, let me say good afternoon to Mr. Raphael Kingsley St. Hill, commonly known to his friends and even those who are not his friends as Inch, who listened earlier in the week to a contribution by former Health Minister Dr. Keith Mondesi, who was commenting on the situation at OKEU, the expressions of discontent with the working conditions, with the so-called shortage of beds and nurses and a whole lot of things which appears to be to the dissatisfaction or displeasure of the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. And Dr. Mondesi was saying that he believes, and other people have expressed that view, that the real problem lies with management of people who are underperforming, never mind the less than ideal conditions, and that he believes it is because of the public service mentality or habit where it is so difficult to fire people. Kingsley St. Hill believes that we need to think otherwise, and he said read section 86 of the Constitution of St. Lucia, and that section says, starting with subsection 1, and there's 7 subsections in it, the power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices in the public service, including the power to confirm appointments, and subject to the provisions of section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission may, by directions in writing and subject to such conditions as it thinks fit, delegate any of its powers under subsection 1 of this section to any one or more members of the Commission, or with the consent of the Prime Minister, to any public officer. Let's read this again. The Public Service Commission may, by directions in writing and subject to such conditions as it thinks fit, delegate any of its powers under subsection 1 of this section to any one or more members of the Commission, that is the Public Service Commission, or with the consent of the Prime Minister, to any public officer. So we need to read subsection 1 again. The power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices in the public service, including the power to confirm appointments, and subject to the provisions of section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Public Service Commission. But it is saying the Public Service Commission, if I'm understanding it properly, can delegate those powers to any public officer or to individual members of the Commission, whether one member or more members of the Commission. Doesn't have to be the whole Commission. The Public Service Commission can delegate the power to confirm appointments, the power to appoint persons or to act in office, that it can delegate those powers. So the Public Service Commission, but it has to do it in writing, and it has to do it with the consent of the Prime Minister. It can delegate those powers to appoint persons, to confirm persons in acting positions, and those kinds of things. It can delegate it, for example, to a permanent secretary to do it. But it has to be done. 2 conditions I see there. The delegation of the Public Service Commission's authority in those matters, must be done in writing, and it must have the consent of the Prime Minister. So the fact that some public officer disciplines somebody or suspends somebody or dismisses somebody according to law, and it was not done by the Public Service Commission, does not mean it is unlawful, I'm understanding, once it was done with the permission of the Public Service Commission, and that permission was given in writing, and it was done with the consent of the Prime Minister. Inch, I think you're listening. You can correct me to tell me if I'm reading this one wrong. Then subsection 3 says, the provisions of this section shall not apply in relation to the following offices. That is to say, any office to which section 87 of this constitution applies, and we'll look at sections 87 and 96, which are referenced. The office of the Chief Elections Officer, the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the office of Director of Audit, any office to which sections 91, 93, or 94 of this constitution applies. So, it's cross-referencing a lot of sections. It is cross-referenced section 96. It is cross-referencing section 87, which is the section immediately following this section 86. And now it is saying the offices to which this cannot apply include Chief Elections Officer, offices under section 87, Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, and Office of Director of Audit, and any office to which section 91, 93, or 94 apply. But when we are reading the Constitution, we can't just read one section. We have to cross-check and cross-reference multiple sections so that whatever the provisions that we are referencing, that they are harmonious with other sections that lay exception or they give conditions or something for that kind. We continue. Subsection 4. No person shall be appointed under this section to or to act in any office on the Governor General's personal staff, except with the concurrence of the Governor General acting in his own deliberate judgment. Now, those, I think this is saying you can't force somebody on the Governor General. Let me read it again. No person shall be appointed under this section to or to act in any office on the Governor General's personal staff, except with the concurrence of the Governor General acting in his own deliberate judgment. So whether it is the Governor General's, driver, or the Governor General's aide-de-camp, or whatever we want to call it, the situation is, once it is the Governor General's staff, you can't force somebody unless the Governor General agrees or acts in his own deliberate judgment to appoint such a person. That's what I'm understanding here. 5. Before any of the powers conferred by this section are exercised by the Public Service Commission or any other person or authority in relation to the clerk of the Senate or the clerk of the House or a member of their staff, the Commission or that person or authority shall consult with the President or the Speaker as the case may be. Right. Subsection 6. Before any of the powers conferred by this section are exercised by the Public Service Commission or any other person or authority in relation to a member of the staff of the Parliamentary Commissioner or the Chief Elections Officer, the Commission or that person or authority shall consult with the Commissioner or, as the case may be, the officer. Subsection 7. A public officer shall not be removed from office or subjected to any other punishment under this section on the grounds of any act done or omitted by him in the exercise of a judicial function conferred on him, unless the Judicial and Legal Services Commission concurs therein. I don't really know what this is referring to here. The exercise of a judicial function, whether it is serving as a juror or something of that kind, I don't know, unless the Judicial and Legal Services Commission concurs therein. People, my guest today is expected to be the Honorable Prime Minister. However, after I made the announcements about him being on the program, I was informed that he won't be able to join us before 1 p.m. So we are still expecting Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre to be in the studio with us today. But I've been told that this is unlikely to happen before 1 p.m. All right? He has another engagement, so he can't be with us. Now I'm getting some messages. Let me see what it is he said. No. Somebody sent a message. Shelton, I didn't hear the beginning of the show, but if the reference to the Public Service Commission is in relation to OKEU, I think it does not relate because OKEU is a statutory body. No, that we're not talking about OKEU. The discussion arose out of something Dr. Mondesi said in relation to the difficulty in firing public servants if they are not performing, that they just keep getting transferred, shifted from one place to another, etc. And Mr. Kingsley St. Hill said that is not true, that there are provisions. In fact, he sent me a message and said, read Section 86 of the Constitution, and we can see. And he also, in fact, referenced a case in Trinidad, I think, where he said he thinks I need to read this and be informed by it. So this really is what is going on there. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see this. Yeah, he said, read Section 86 of the Constitution and the Endell Thomas case from Trinidad and Tobago. All right. So, all right. The section which follows, Section 87, says this section applies to the offices of Secretary to the Cabinet, Permanent Secretary, Head of a Department of Government, Deputy Head of a Department of Government, any office for the time being designated by the Public Service Commission as an office of a Chief Professional Advisor to a Department of Government, or any office for the time being designated by the Commission after consultation with the Prime Minister as an office the holders of which are required to reside outside St. Lucia for the proper discharge of their functions, or as an office in St. Lucia whose functions relate to external affairs. The power to appoint persons to hold or to act in offices to which this section applies, including the power to confirm appointments and subject to the provisions of Section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office, shall vest in the Governor General acting in accordance with the advice of the Public Service Commission. All right. So we had this reference in Section 86, which said the power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices in the public service, including the power to confirm appointments, and subject to the provisions of Section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Public Service Commission. But then Section 87, which follows, says the power to appoint persons to hold, and it tells you, those persons and so on, but it says the power to remove such persons shall vest in the Governor General acting in accordance with the advice of the Public Service Commission, provided that the power to appoint a person to hold or act in an office of Permanent Secretary or transfer from another such office carrying the same salary shall vest in the Governor General acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister. Before the Public Service Commission tenders advice to the Governor General with respect to the appointment of any person to hold an office to which this section applies, other than an appointment to an office of Permanent Secretary on transfer from another such office carrying the same salary, it shall consult with the Prime Minister, and if the Prime Minister signifies his objection to the appointment of any person to the office, the Commission shall not advise the Governor General to appoint that person. All right? So there are always conditionalities and exceptions and advice and cross-checking and consultations and so on based upon. And these have to be read in a manner where they can be harmonized and melded together and so on. That's why reading Constitution and those things is not always a straightforward matter as some people believe. We heard a lot of talk about the Constitution says this. You have to read it in harmony. You have to read it in cross-reference to other sections and so on. In relation to any office of ambassador, high commissioner, or other principal representative of St. Lucia in any other country or accredited to any international organization, the Governor General shall act in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, who shall, before tendering any such advice in respect of any person who holds any public office to which appointments are made by the Governor General on the advice of or after consultation with some other person or authority, consult that person or authority. So the Governor General shall not make an appointment except on the advice of the Prime Minister, but the Prime Minister will not give that advice to the Governor General unless he or she, if we have a female Prime Minister, consult with the body that the Constitution says is to consult. So the Prime Minister advises the Governor General, but his advice is based upon his consultations with bodies like the Public Service Commission. You understand? So there is that interplay that has to be respected and regarded according to constitutional procedure. And subsection 3 says references to this section to a department of government shall not include the Office of Governor General, the Department of the Attorney General, the Department of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Department of the Director of Audit, the Department of the Parliamentary Commissioner, the Department of the Chief Elections Officer, or the Police Force. Once again, we have to read it in conjunction with other segments and so on. There's also reference made in section 86, which Inge directed me to sections 91, 93, and 94. Let's go there very quickly, and we are doing this because we expect from 1 p.m. to have the Honorable Prime Minister. Let me see this. It says 91, 93, and 94. All right, let's hope they're not too long. Section 91. This section applies to the offices of Magistrate, Registrar of the High Court, and Assistant Registrar of the High Court, to any public office in the Department of the Attorney General other than the Public Office of Attorney General, or in the Department of the Parliamentary Commissioner, the Department of the Chief Elections Officer other than the Office of Officer, or the Department of the Director of Public Prosecutions other than the Office of Director, for appointment to which persons are required to hold one or other of the specified qualifications and such other offices connected with the courts as Parliament may prescribe. The power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices to which this section applies, including the power to confirm appointments, shall vest in the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. So it is not the Public Service Commission for everything. There's some things that are regarded as having judicial connection, and that is things that are connected to the Attorney General's office, DPP's office, and so on. These things, the power to appoint in those offices shall vest in the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. So this whole matter of the special prosecutor, for example, this was never something that it was the Public Service Commission. It was the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, I believe, that had the lion's share of say in who will occupy that position, DPP and all of that too. All right. Subject to the provisions of Section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in offices to which this section applies, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. All right. Then I think there's reference to Section 93 and 94. Section 93 says the power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices to which this section applies, including the power to confirm appointments, and subject to the provisions of Section 96. Once again, a reference to Section 96, we'll get to it. Section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Teaching Service Commission. So you see different commissions come into play for different offices and appointments and so on. So one time we're talking about the Public Service Commission, then we talk about the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, now we're talking about the Teaching Service Commission. The Teaching Service Commission may, by directions in writing and subject to such conditions as it thinks fit, delegate any of its powers under subsection 1 of this section to any one or more members of the Commission, or with the consent of the Prime Minister, to any public office. Almost identical language in what we found in section 86 pertaining to the Public Service Commission. They can delegate the power to do what they are empowered or required to do under the Constitution to members of the commission. It was less than the whole body. They can say, okay, as secretary to the commission, whatever you can do, you will do this with the authority of the commission, or they can ask that a permanent secretary, but they must do it in writing, and they must do it again with the consent of the Prime Minister. So the Teaching Service Commission, like the Public Service Commission, if I'm reading right, they have the right, they have the power to delegate some of their powers and their responsibilities to, we might say, a subset of the board itself, the commission itself, or to any other public officer, but they have to do it with the consent of the Prime Minister. All right. This section applies to any office in the public service, the duties of which are wholly or mainly concerned with teaching in schools or with the administration of schools, not being an office to which Section 87 of this Constitution applies. And I think we've already read Section 87. Then there's Section 94, which says the police. That one pertains to the police. The one that I just read, it pertains to the Teaching Service, right? Teaching Service Commission. The power to appoint a person to hold or act in the office of Commissioner of Police, and subject to the provisions of Section 96, which we haven't gotten to, of this Constitution. The power to remove the Commissioner from office shall vest in the Governor General, acting in accordance with the advice of the Public Service Commission. Provided that before the Commission tenders advice to the Governor General with respect to the appointment of any person to hold the office of Commissioner, the Commission shall consult with the Prime Minister, and if the Prime Minister signifies his objection to the appointment of any person to the office, the Commission shall not advise the Governor General to appoint that person. Even if the Public Service Commission says, we believe Shelton Daniel, God forbid, would be a good person to be Commissioner, all right? And they are minded to advise the Governor General, they first have to inform the Prime Minister that they wish to or they intend to advise the Governor General for Shelton Daniel to be appointed Commissioner of Police. But if the Prime Minister says no, it's not a matter of they should not proceed to advise the Governor General because the Prime Minister has objected. All right. So, all right. The power to appoint persons to hold or acting offices in the police force below the rank of Commissioner of Police, but above the rank of Inspector, including the power to confirm appointments, and subject to the provisions of Section 96 of this Constitution, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Public Service Commission. Now, it doesn't say anything now about provided that the Commission seeks the approval of the Prime Minister, whatever. It says it shall reside with the Public Service Commission. And that is for people below the rank of Commissioner, I suppose Deputy Commissioner, but above the rank of Inspector. So we're talking about from Assistant Superintendent, if I'm reading it correctly, until Deputy Commissioner or something of that kind. The power to appoint persons to hold or acting offices in the police force of or below the rank of Inspector, including the power to confirm appointments and subject to the provisions of Section 96 of this Constitution. The power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Commissioner of Police. So once you're at Inspector and below, it's in the Commissioner's hands. All right? The Commissioner of Police may, by directions given in such a manner as he, let's say she, we now know, he thinks fit, and subject to such conditions as he thinks fit, delegate any of his powers under subsection 3 of this section to another member of the police force. And now, the Commissioner has the power to decide on matters pertaining to people of rank of Inspector and below, but the Commissioner doesn't have to deal with it directly under the Commissioner's hand. The Commissioner can direct for an assistant superintendent, a superintendent to say, look, can you oversee this process and look into it, etc., 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 etc. Whatever little investigations need to be done. That's what I'm understanding. It's in the Commissioner's hands, but the Commissioner doesn't have to deal with it hands-on. The Commissioner can delegate it to another officer, who I suppose would have to be above the rank of Inspector. All right. A police officer shall not be removed from office or subjected to any other punishment under this section on the grounds of any act done or omitted by him in the exercise of any judicial function conferred on him unless the Judicial and Legal Services Commission concurs therein. I'm not too sure what it refers to, but I know that they are police prosecutors and it says judicial function and so on. But I believe that would be understood, that in this case, even if the Commissioner has grounds that they want to take action against somebody, but if the person was serving a judicial function, not exactly sure right now, but like I said, I know it can be police prosecutors, somebody can clarify on it for me, but the Judicial and Legal Services Commission would have to be brought in and they would have to agree, on the disciplinary action or the removal of that police officer. In this section, references to the rank of inspector shall, if the ranks within the police force are altered, whether in consequence of the reorganization or replacement of an existing part of the force or the creation of an additional part, be construed as references to such rank or ranks as may be specified by the Public Service Commission by order published in the Official Gazette, being a rank or ranks that in the opinion of the Commission most nearly correspond to the rank of inspector as it existed before the alteration. We'll look at 96 last, but it's time for us to take a commercial break, and perhaps the Prime Minister will join us during that break or shortly thereafter. I'm getting a lot of messages. I'll try to scroll through them and see whether I can read them. Thank you very much, folks.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758 453 7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The country needed to be rescued from the abyss into which it was plunging. The majority of you accepted my offer to lead that rescue mission. The full rescue team also includes you, the people.
Over the past 3 years, the solution economy has been growing. The growth is being experienced across many sectors, with business confidence up and unemployment down.
This government always defends the interests of the people of St. Lucia.
The 2 years after COVID, and then I get the $1,500. It helped me a lot and it pushed me in front to open a little business. Now I can put food on my table right now.
When I heard about the MSME, I was like, boom, opportunity. I could make something actually happen, you know.
And young people must not suffer the frustration that they suffer when they go to other organizations.
Entrepreneurship is something that is needed in our country. We need people to take the leap and be entrepreneurs to help the economy grow.
He honored his promise, and I respect him, and I give him thanks. Philip J. Pierre, I thank you with all my heart and soul.
As Prime Minister, I promise to be Prime Minister not for some of the people, but for all the people.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so very much, everyone, for staying with the Real Issues. Our final program for the week, our final program before the Walk of Progress that's coming up on Sunday, the 25th of August from 2:30 in the PM. Yes, in the PM, you know, that's post midi, after midday. And, you know, I'm just trying to make play on the little pun, you know. That on Sunday, 2:30 in the afternoon, starting at the Sabbath VG. There will be the Walk of Progress. They're not calling it a march. They're not calling it a demonstration. It's a walk of progress from VG to town, culminating on the Castres Market steps after going through a pre-planned route within the capital. And our guest today, whom we are still expecting, is Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre to be in the studio with us. However, he's been held up at other commitments. You know how busy every day in the life of a prime minister is, so at any moment he can walk in. But I appreciate the messages that you are sending. Someone sent one which said, Shelton, good afternoon. Our staff orders and regulations speak to public officers not showing or wearing party symbols or publicly showing affiliation with a political party. But Sunday's, well, they say match like a game, and I think they mean Sunday's march, really Sunday's walk, is not a labor march, but rather a march of good faith and thanksgiving to the progress of the leadership at hand. I was told by my management I cannot march. I am throwing it out there on your program. Can public officers be part of the march on Sunday? I'll tell you what, that Sunday I'm going to ask the Prime Minister when he comes here. If he comes, it's not something I can or I would venture to try to pose any kind of answer for, because I could get it all wrong. It's really not my forte. Although I have seen officers in my department of stickers and have gone on party platforms and have traveled overseas with a particular party and was not disciplined, but let's hear what can be said here. Thanks. Yours truly, having served for 30 years with integrity, I don't want this to write me in the books of disciplinary action, but whether I march or not, which is my intention, I shall find myself in Castries. This Prime Minister must see that I am standing with him. Too much to be thankful for under his leadership. Best of luck with that. Like I said, let me forward this to a place where I can retrieve it very quickly. Meanwhile, if there's anybody out there who has experience, knowledge, expertise in this area of the staff orders and of the civil service and so on, of industrial relations and those sort of things, and wants to share, Mr. Victor Girard might be a good person if he's listening right now and is able to shoot off a message to us to shed some light on this particular area and clarification. I didn't think it would be necessary to do so, but folks, I'm just feeling that my voice isn't what it is normally or would be expected to be. The symptoms, I must say, very weird and unstable and so variable over time of this little onset of the flu that I've been battling for all of this week. And so my voice isn't at its strongest. Right now I battle with moments of nausea and so on, and have to swallow very hard or whatever. I haven't actually gone into any bout of vomiting, but sometimes it just feels so awful. Stomach shows up, stomach clears up, something else comes up and so on. So today the voice, I had to be clearing my throat quite a lot this morning. Let's hope that it continues to improve, but if it's making me not come across as clear as you're accustomed to having me be clear, I would hope do understand what's going on, and I'm not perturbed about it, but it may be affecting the quality of what I'm committed to always serving you with. Let me see, there's other message that I see here. I'll tell you in a moment what I laugh about. Person said, oh, absolutely, I agree with Inch. We don't even have to go so far. The PSC, that's the Public Service Commission, has disciplined officers for lateness. All right. Let's say this. Thank you very much, Vernon Jean of NTN GIS, who has put out, the little notice that we are live with special guest Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre. Not quite as we now speak, but we're expecting him any moment now. Thanks, Jaquan, for the Facebook Live link. I'm just trying to keep up with the messages right now until the Prime Minister comes. Yeah, Kamala Mania in America just ended Democratic National Convention, but I suppose the real proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and that eating is going to take place in early November. Can Kamala Harris pull it off to become the first woman president of the United States of America? Can she score the required victory over Donald Trump in what everywhere is being reported to be a tight race? Is it going to happen? We shall see. Let's see. Someone says, I am seated awaiting the arrival of Moses J. Pierre. 6 minutes to go, and I know this episode is going to be amazing. All right. Okay. So, possibly you can just take a quick look. Maybe he's unsure whether to step into the studio. I heard a voice which maybe it's because I am so eagerly awaiting his arrival that I believe that it's him that I heard, but it could have been somebody else. It's not him. All right, it's not him. Okay, but we did have another section of the Constitution, that was 96, which was extensively cross-referenced in the earlier sections, and it says, and by the way, let me say thanks to a friend, a fellow media person who has sent me a voice note to say that she thinks I slipped up and I made a bit of an out and I should correct it, that I referred to more than once Senator Alison Jean as Dr. Alison Jean, that she has an honorary doctorate, and you do not in the course of regular reference and appellation call somebody who has an honorary doctorate, refer to them as doctor, as you would someone who holds a medical degree or someone who has an earned doctoral degree. I say medical degree because many of the people whom we call doctors, we call them doctor on the basis of them being medical practitioners, but they do not have doctoral level degrees in terms of PhDs, or MDs, or they would have bachelor of medicine, bachelor of surgery, but you call them doctor because it is generally within practice, within tradition, and we might say convention, to refer to a recognized, registered, licensed medical practitioner as a doctor. And other people who actually have a doctoral level degree. So you'd call them doctor, and other people, even in the field of medicine, etc. But medicine is really not necessary. But they said that when somebody has an honorary degree, you would call them Mr. I would call her Mistress Alison Jean, Senator Alison Jean, but don't refer to her in normal conversation as Dr. Jean. So that was what was sent to me. I had heard that before about the matter of the earned degree as opposed to the honorary degree. And in places I have been, there doesn't seem to be agreement or consensus about it. Yes, I did read that you don't normally call them that, but I don't know. You go to Antigua and the former Prime Minister is called Dr. Winston Baldwin Spencer because he has an honorary degree, and certain, some people it does not become an issue. The Governor General of Antigua is a medical practitioner, so even before he became Governor General and got his honorary degrees and so on, he was Dr. Rodney Williams, a sports medicine specialist, very nice gentleman. So it's not on account of him having honorary degrees. He was Dr. Rodney Williams before. So that confusion does not arise. But the other people who get honorary degrees, I have heard about Dr. Julian Hunt. People have referred to him as that, yet we know it's an honorary degree, and it goes on. But thank you very much, my friend, for... I haven't gone to do the reading again. Like I said, I'd read about it, but then sometimes, you just find people do it so much that over time you wonder whether you're the odd person out. So I'll take a look at that once again. I know the person who sent it is a friend and is doing it genuinely because they want to, provide some good advice, counsel, help, guidance in doing things. It's not anything with me or with Senator Jean that they have. So we'll just take another look at it, and if it is something that can be done better, I promise I'm going to do better on that. I have to tell you this. When this matter of Senator Jean's doctorate came up, when she got this Doctor of Letters, all the while I was under the impression that Alison Jean was Dr. Jean long before that. I think I'd been referring to her as since her days as permanent secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure and so on. I thought I had heard her being referred to as Dr. Alison Jean from that time, 10 years ago, whatever. I was surprised, and she confirmed it to me. No, she was not, and so on. So I might have been making that mistake with her for a very long time, considering that she, was a PhD holder and so on. Such an intelligent person anyway that knowing her as long as I have done, etc. I'm seeing a phone call coming, and it has the Prime Minister's contact on it, so Prime Minister, I'm live on air. Is it something that you want to speak with me for the phone?
Yes, I just want to tell you that I'm on my way. I'm stuck in the traffic. I was just coming from the hospital, Millennium Highway, Millennium Complex, Health Complex, the OKEU Hospital, where we gave the check for $11 million to assist them. So I got caught in the traffic, and I don't use sirens, as you know. So I'm caught in the traffic, but I'll be there. I think we end at 2, so at least I'll be able to spend half an hour, 40 minutes with you. But I'm on my way. I'm coming, but I'm just stuck in the Friday traffic. So there was a container truck ahead of us. So that created some problems. So I should be right now. I'm actually by La Place Carnage, shopping mall there. So then I should be making it very, very, hopefully, the traffic clears.
Okay, Prime Minister, thank you. Thank you very much for the consideration, yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
However, let me tell you, if
and my apologies to the listeners.
Yes. And if as you meander through the traffic and so on, you think it would be more convenient for you to do it for the telephone, feel free to do that as well, okay? You are very considerate, and we want to be as accommodating of you as we can.
Yeah, but so we can start when I'll come off when I reach. So we can start. Yeah, you can start the questions if you have any questions. So I understand your voice isn't good, or you want us to wait.
Yes. Okay. Well, make your way through the traffic and come. So maybe by the time you arrive, everything will be more settled.
Okay. All right then. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Such a always very considerate person. The Prime Minister, so humble, so modest, and so on, calling, to explain that he's late and so on. It's not a matter of, you the Prime Minister, and so you wait for me and so on. None of that kind of attitude with this gentleman and so on. And he mentions it, not having sirens blowing, everybody get out of the way and so on. It's not an emergency. He takes his time, he goes through the traffic like everybody, and even if he had spoken to me, I would say, no, don't say where exactly you are and your location and all of that. There's security implications for that. But he's a gentleman who not just has this kind of modesty about him, he's also someone who has faith, who believes in God, that, he entrusts himself to the will of God and not to having some big, showy security apparatus around him. Not the kind of person who will have his vehicle running on idle all day long with the AC on, he's not going to do that, And even as we speak, I see someone else is entering the studio. There is an intruder, which I'm debating with myself right now, whether I should put that intruder out. But, I know she's so popular with the audience that if I do that, I might end up getting put out myself, But Lisa Jawai, I suppose, has, just come a little ahead of the Prime Minister to make sure everything is in order and working. And she said she's going to say a few words as well. So, hi, Lisa, how are you doing?
Afternoon, Shelton.
Yes,
I'm good.
nice
Shelton,
to see you. Yes.
We've been having an exciting day so far. Prime Minister has really made... Good afternoon, Saint Lucia. Good afternoon to those of you who are tuned in. Prime Minister has really been making his rounds to share the great work that this SLP administration has been doing. And as we speak, he's on his way here. So we started off with Yadi and Jaim.
He was just on air with us. He just called me on the phone to explain the delay. And that
yes, fantastic. So I just thought it would be nice to just come in and just have a seat in the meantime, just to really rally support for the Walk of Progress. Prime Minister has made this bold decision to have a walk in support of his government, because we all believe that in 3 years we've been able to achieve so much more. I mean, the economic growth, the reduction in unemployment, the support for the education sector, remarkable and groundbreaking historical strides in healthcare. And we just left OKU, the Millennium Heights Medical Complex, and Prime Minister handed over a check for $11 million.
Yes.
$11 million. Interestingly, we found out that it takes about $100 million to run the hospital annually. And the $11 million, in addition to the support we get from the Health and Citizen Security Levy, is really giving us, additional avenues to support the hospital. And then we saw recently from Office of the Prime Minister another video that was released showing significant progress with St. Jude. So we are really excited. We have a lot to celebrate. I'm telling you, they've ironed their clothes, Shelton. People have sent pictures of their uniforms, their outfits, because they want to be part of the walk. And significant to that is the fact that even persons who are supporters of the United Workers' Party have indicated, that their children have benefited. I recently interviewed a very articulate young lady, and she had a lot to say on that. But I believe Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre is here, so I will allow for him to come in. But yes, Walk of Progress, August 25th from 2:30 p.m.
All right, thank you very much, Senator Lisa Jawari, Communications Director of the governing St. Lucia Labour Party, and one of the most consistent voices when it comes to promoting the Walk of Progress. And now I can tell you that our Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, has arrived, has seated, and is ready to go with us on the program today. Prime Minister, good afternoon and welcome to the Real Issues for the first time in person.
Yes.
I understand how busy you are, so we were never impatient.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
Even if you hadn't made it, we were going to be completely understanding of it. Congratulations on the function that I'm told you've just come from.
Yes.
Handing over $11 million to the Millennium Heights Medical Complex.
In the first instance.
In the first instance.
And in fact, first of all, let me say good afternoon to you, Shelton, and good afternoon to your listeners. I want to tell you I'm sorry for being late. It was just coming to your producer. I know these guys. It always makes me how excited press people are every day.
Yes.
I've never been anywhere and find a cameraman or producer not excited.
Okay, all right.
Seriously,
all right.
on any program. Okay. I sometimes wonder what causes that. You understand? It's the only profession where I see the men doing it are always excited.
Well, Prime Minister, I believe there is something about you that makes people light up, especially people in the media. I think when they interact with you, they don't feel this sense of foreboding or intimidation that, there's going to be somebody snapping at them or huffing them or this kind of thing, which we have seen.
I'm a simple man.
But I think you've seen it about people calling people criminal, and I don't talk to criminals, and, people are looking at people in their face and saying, next question, please, and they don't answer their questions. I don't think they've had any of that kind of experience with you.
See, because...
So you put them at ease,
I'll tell you something, Shelton. I always say to people, this job is a temporary job, not a job forever.
Right.
You leave it at some point. It's a temporary job.
Yes.
You serve at the will of the people. And I understand the people of Cashews East who have me 6 times. Yes. They've supported me. I understand them. And the cabinet for agreeing to make me Prime Minister. The cabinet and the Labour Party. The Labour Party, that's basically my second home. Right. And also my parents who instilled the values in me and my family. So I really want to thank them for that. And so I just came from the OKEU hospital where we made a contribution of $11 million and from the CIP and $5 million from the government's cash flow position. The government can, I can tell you, it's significant that we can find $5 million from our cash flow, from our allocation to put in.
So you're saying 6 million came from the CIP? Or
11 million came from the CIP.
Okay, so
16 million.
16 million, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now let me tell you what that will do. You see, it's very important that we clear some of the myths that have been circulating in St. Lucia. The hospital debt did not begin on the 21st October 2021. The hospital was indebted for about, and I don't, we've never said these things, but a lot of that debt was a long time before. Because, there was no smooth transition from Victoria Hospital to OKEU. It happened in a hurry.
Right.
Because the transition team that was set up was dissolved, was fired under Dr. Stephen King.
Right.
So the transition, there wasn't time to manage the finances. There wasn't time to say, listen to me, let us give OKEU a clean bill of health as far as its running is concerned. So OKEU inherited a lot of debt.
And from the time OKEU came on board, it seemed like it's because certain people got a kick in the backside from COVID, so they had to.
There was no choice.
They had no choice.
So that's hastily gone.
Because they were playing all kind of games with Health City came.
Exactly. And we had to. That cost us $12 million, which we had to pay, right? So, what happened is that OKEU
came into being, and if all these long outstanding payables, we were forced to, so OKU could not use their working capital effectively because they had to pay debts. They had to pay things that they didn't have. So they were paying what is called in the jargon accounts payable, a debt that they incurred before they'd used it, but they had to pay it. So suppliers refused to give them supplies because they owed them. It's a business.
Right.
So when the doctors and the doctors met me and the board of OKU, that position was made clear that we can't survive.
Okay.
We haven't got any working capital.
But before that, had you been aware that the situation was so bad that it would have provoked the kind of reaction that we saw? Because I'm saying people would have known, you would have known, others would have known, yet we saw in recent time there was that kind of pushback and so on. Did that take you by surprise?
Well, I must tell you, to be honest, the letter that came out went to the board.
Okay.
You know?
I understand that. Yeah.
It went to the board. It didn't go to the minister, or it went to the board.
Okay. We only know about it because it apparently leaked somewhere.
It went to the board, right?
Yes.
And I think it was meant to be confidential.
Okay.
I would think so. Because, you know, I will never call any doctor hurricane. I will never attack any doctor. I think all doctors mean well for the country.
All right.
And that is why I asked my minister whether he'd mentioned any doctor's name. And he said, no. Because if he had, I'd have asked him to withdraw it.
Okay.
My minister said to me, he did not call any doctor's name.
Yes.
Understand? But people call doctors' names. I guess it's different strokes for different folks.
Right.
People call doctors cancer. Yes, and no one says anything about it.
Right.
So, but anyway, that's for them. So I'm not getting involved in that.
Right.
So what happened is that we decided that we would give the hospital the ability now not to be saddled or burdened with all that debt, so they could use the allocation for current expenses, for working capital.
Right.
That's what we did. So that's what that $11 million for. And that $11 million comes from the CIP. It's what is called excess funds from the CIP.
Okay.
You see? Now, the minister tried to explain about the CIP, and we're not going to that now, but the excess funds means the fees that they charge for administration, for due diligence, the excess in that is what's called excess funds.
Okay.
It didn't come from a national economic fund. It didn't come from the bonds, nor did it come from the infrastructure or the real estate options.
Okay. It is for the regular upkeep of, as you say, the processing fees and all this stuff. Right, okay, good. And I think the law says that it should be transferred to the Ministry of Finance or something. I think I read something.
Used.
Yes.
Right. Now, so you write the board, and the board agrees. Okay? That's what it is.
Right.
So we get them the $11 million, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. I've been told that the Ministry of Health may owe between $40 and $50 million, the Ministry of Health, in outstanding amounts due to local suppliers. Think about it carefully.
Right.
Including overseas suppliers. And I want to really thank the government of Martinique.
That's right, for St. Lucian's.
Because I've got a letter from the government from Martinique saying that we owe them $2 million in 2001. You understand? So, when you have people speaking glibly about the health situation and trying to and pretending that we've got where we got because of October 21, that's not true. Not true. It's not a good situation. It's not a situation that I am happy about. That's why we're trying to solve it.
Right.
So very soon, after we've got a definitive statement as to what the Ministry of Health owes, we're going to make a statement on how we want to leave the Ministry of Health with no debt.
Okay.
Basically. So the Ministry of Health can use its allocation to do health matters.
Okay.
So that is going to be the first government that's going to make such an intervention in the health services in St. Lucia. Could be a massive intervention. But as Minister of Finance, that's all I can do. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I don't.
Just like you have always said with the police force, you're not a policeman.
Exactly.
You cannot run the police force.
No. So my job is to make the finances available and to allow the doctors to decide how it's going to be.
Okay. So this 16 million, it must be that before you decided on that figure, you would have seen some kind of budget or plan and so on. So I just want to ask,
no.
How much of a dent in the problems that exist there do you
Hopefully it should pay the payables.
Okay.
Hopefully it should pay the payables, or to a large extent pay a large percentage of the payables.
Okay.
And there are local businesses who are older. And then and I understand them for having patience.
Because this is affecting their cash flow.
Their cash flow,
That's right. And when you give it to them, it's actually
exactly
it's a little boost for the economy.
Exactly. You understand? So we are doing that, and then we're going to make a definitive statement, and the public will see that this government is making a concerted effort to solve the health financing problems in this country.
Okay.
And we are going now to begin a new era of health financing in the country, because I'm told, I said 100 million, they corrected me. They said $108 million to run OKU. Don't you believe that?
That's some money, yeah.
To run OKU alone. Don't know how much money.
We're not even talking about St. Jude when it comes online.
No, we're not talking about health centers and
polyclinics and all
no,
that.
That's what I was told. $108 million. And people cry, health and security. You know how much money health and security will give for this year? The Ministry of Finance tells me $33 million.
So it isn't that great amount of money.
No, it's not. And health and security.
It's not just health.
You understand? So again, people just say things without the facts, the actual facts. The health and security levy last financial year raised $8 million. This financial year, it's going to raise $33 million.
All right.
Now, and the OKU alone is $108 million, according to what they say.
Okay.
So you understand the issues. So what we're trying to do now is to try and give them a new lease of life, so at least they can begin to run current. But there must be strong accountability for it. So that's the training for. So but we're making progress in universal health care. We haven't spoken about financial universal health care yet. And the minister, and I really want to thank the minister for his perseverance and his dedication to the task. You understand?
All right.
And the nurses and the doctors and the medical staff and the warders and the wardens and the health aides and the people, because the health fraternity, they are doing very well. Nobody's perfect. You can never find a perfect person.
Okay.
You understand? You're going to find a perfect system. Only last 2 nights ago, Obama was talking about Obamacare. And then if you heard
that's right. Even America had that kind of challenge.
But but in St. Lucia, we pretend as if St. Lucia is not part of the world, and we pretend as if St. Lucia is unique. So they go on glibly talking about the world began on 21st October. The July, that's when the world began.
Yes.
And St. Lucia is the worst place in the world.
Yeah, nothing is working.
Nothing is working.
But that is not the experience of everyday people.
No. And many people tell me how they are very pleased and thank doctors and nurses for the problem, for the service.
That's right.
The problem in the hospital is the emergency services. Because the emergencies are overburdened.
That's right.
I understand. It was made for 40 to 50 people. Sometimes there are 80 people there.
That's right.
Now, they needed excess beds. We said yes to give the excess beds. But you know what? Where they want to put the excess beds, there are borders. People just leave their parents and don't take care of them.
That happens quite a lot.
You want to believe it?
Quite a lot, yeah.
People send their parents there and they don't take care of them.
And it's not just in St. Lucia it happens. Abandonment of relatives and so on at the healthcare institutions.
Yes.
People put them there.
And leave them.
Mental health care things, people go, they put them into the psychiatric hospital and nobody ever turns back in that family to come and to look for them again. That happens.
Now,
and I suppose the kind of accidents, the road accidents and the crime,
plus the crime,
not helping the situation at all.
And people go there with non-communicable diseases. The strokes and the diabetes, they get a coma, they go there, right? Yeah. So the emergency staff are burned. And that's a fact. And I want to thank them again.
What about the part about a certain wing of the hospital being decided against and not being is that a significant factor that the hospital is supposed to have? How many wings?
You see,
and they cut it by 20% and so on.
Shelton, I hate to go in the past.
Yeah, is that a factor that's affecting?
We still had a fifth finger, and the fifth finger was extracted, right? For reasons best known to the powers that be at the time. It may be a good reason for that. I don't know.
It was not something that the EU requested or sanctioned and so on.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Understand? Right. So that's the point I'm making. So the fifth finger, but I'm not even going there.
Yeah, okay.
We have to move forward.
I understand.
You understand? So that's it. Just but many things are happening. Good things happening in health. Good things are happening.
We saw some video about the latest on St. Jude, and I think a lot of people were stunned to see the level of progress
at
and
St. Jude.
at St. Jude.
And we did that very quietly. Yes. And the ad said starting 21. That's not true. The ad, my people made a mistake. I was the Prime Minister. St. Jude started work in 2022 or 2022. That's when we started there. Late 2022, even 21. Because remember, we had to have a committee to look at it without politicians.
Right.
And then I think it started 23.
Yeah. I think so. It was 2022 where they started with the cleanup that you needed to have the place
and we friends a bit
cleaned up and so on and all of that.
So even my office couldn't understand how quickly that happened. It wasn't 2021.
And the best contribution that other people could have had was to have a march, on there.
And talk about and when we removed the VAT on sanitary products, they had teddy bears.
Ridicule it. With women going to have.
And I heard the Great United States. Somebody speaking about period poverty. I mean, right?
So St. Lucia is far ahead of a lot of
other countries. We're talking about period poverty. You understand?
Yes,
so that's where we as far as health is concerned. I'm going to be making another statement very shortly on health. Where we going? I'm sure people will be pleased because there are some local suppliers that are owed money from COVID and beyond.
Right.
I tell you, the French government in 2001.
And you have to find this money to pay off those debts.
You see? So we're doing that.
Yes.
So that's health. So whereas we have challenges, again I want to thank the nurses and doctors. We have challenges. Of course we have challenges. But the pretense is what concerns me.
Right.
The pretense. That even is perfect. That there are no beds. Not beds. There's no Panadol. There is no this and that. You'd believe that for 3 months there's no Panadol. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they ever should miss Panadol. I'm not saying that.
Like Minister Jean-Baptiste said, there are challenges. There's no question that there are challenges.
But you hear as if there is no Panadol, as if the hospitals went 3 months without Panadol. Hospital went 6 weeks without. So, but again, I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not being blame. I'm saying to you that we are working on this fact.
Okay. Prime Minister, the nation's attention and many people, I'm tempted to say most people, is on the walk of progress coming up on Sunday. Now I want us to talk, and I'm sure you want to talk about the walk of progress, but it seems to me there has been a concerted, deliberate, intense, almost obsessive attempt to grab the nation's attention and refocus it down certain other things, like we will not allow you all to think of progress, much less a walk of progress. Tell me about it. Has it been any way astonishing to you, the kind of political activity and where it seems to be trained in terms of having St. Lucian's minds and so on? It's difficult. You try to ignore it. You try to say, let's focus on other things, but it has been absolutely relentless in the past couple of months and so on.
I understand you, but I don't think the people are taking that line, The people are very excited.
Okay.
I don't think the people are going on that way. Okay. I mean, the people are very excited. I was in Grosse yesterday. I couldn't believe what was happening in Grosse. People in my constituency asked me for T-shirts. They want not. I don't think the people understand.
Okay.
3,000 people in St. Lucia today and tomorrow and yesterday. They got their pensions nearly doubled.
All right.
3,000 people. Not 300.
3,000.
And in the civil service, about 40 people got their pensions up to $725. These people understand what's happening. So, and then there's $2.5 million of educational assistance for people happening now as we speak. There's another $3 million of step jobs helping to beautify and clean the country. So these people understand what's happening. So the people who get free medical attention over 80 that were ridiculed, they understand what's happening. The people, the layout workers and the majestic industry workers, remember what happened. The people who we pay their CXC schooling for also know what happened. The people that the employment rate has gone down to 11%. These people working, they know what's happening. I'll tell you something, Shelton. I went to Canaries in the week, last week, and I was, I was shocked. I asked, where are the people? And somebody probably said they're working.
Yeah.
And there's not something that I am making up, And we don't have no cameras make them say it, I said, what are the people? The people said they are working.
Gainfully employed.
They're working, that's what I said. And in Canaries, because we went to Canaries to see about a health fire service, a fire depot. I'm not even speaking about the fire service, the emergency, because the emergency sectors have the fire services. We are going to be getting at least 4 new ambulances in the next 2 months.
All right.
You understand? I'm not even talking about what our investment in the emergency services as far as the fire. I've even forgotten that. Sometimes I forget so many things.
Well, there are just so many things to remember.
Exactly. So I'll tell you about Canaries. And it's passing strange how people do things. I don't want to cast any aspersions. We went to Canaries. The parliamentary rep for Canaries was with me. And some people took us to the jetty.
The Canaries jetty.
The Canaries jetty. I know this is laughing, but it's really a joke. How these things are so transparent. These things are so transparent. I never get involved in these things. But I will never call the people jetty a toilet. Never.
This is so disrespectful.
Yeah. So we went to Canaries, and the parliamentary rep and a few young guys, and I mentioned the parliamentary rep. I was happy how these young guys had accepted him. There wasn't any violent reaction or something. They said, boss, come. I'm going to show you something in the jetty. That's happened for years, he tells me. Years. So he showed me what is needed in the jetty. I instructed the parliamentary rep to get the people who had built the Miku jetty first, not a jetty that went away, not the floating jetty.
Yeah, not the floating jetty.
No,
the piece of sponge or whatever. like cushions taken off a settee and stitched together.
Not the floating jetty, a real jetty, right? Yeah. So I looked for these people. I instructed the parliament, go and get these people. He called immediately. The guy said he's in England coming over a plane on Sunday. The guy missed his flight and he came on Tuesday. The Tuesday, the parliamentary rep went to Canaries with the guy. You understand? And he said he's found a solution for the jetty. It's not a matter of he'll do it, but he has to prepare a plan and give a plan, which is what you do.
That's right.
I am no engineer, so he had a plan. I read the thing yesterday. Jetty complained.
Jetty what?
People Canaries complain about the jetty.
Always.
This was so transparent. It was so transparent. I laughed. It was so transparent.
Always coming up after the fact.
After the fact. Some guy said the jetty needs to be repaired for a long time ago. We were down Tuesday, and the parliamentary rep pledged to do the jetty. The people came to look at the jetty. You understand? No, and there's a story. The jetty is bad. It really, according to you, it looks like it's a concerted effort.
Yes, to distract people from what one's on.
It's like,
so you're saying it's not working?
To me, it's not working, and the proof of the eating is in the pudding. Right. That'll happen on Sunday. Right. People are very excited because people feel it. Because what we're saying is not things like 21 islands that will come. We're saying things that are on the ground. It's not things. It's not vision. We're not talking about the vision, and some people understand. Some people get carried away with vision.
Yes,
vision is good, but reality is better.
Yeah, rendering.
It's not things that will happen. It's things that are happening. People are knowing that the schools are going to be repaired.
Yes.
People will see the schools are going to be repaired. And I want to tell people in Enchibo Secondary School that their school is going to be repaired. But again, we are doing things in a particular way, procurement, etc. So people are seeing. People not hearing, they're seeing. They're seeing that we are seeing about police facilities. They're seeing the Northern headquarters going up. They are seeing it. They are seeing the grocery station being redone. Not grocery headquarters, which is going to be headquarters. They're seeing the V41. They're seeing other repairs in other police stations, which is going to happen. They are seeing it. They see the new vehicles. They know that there are 70 new police recruits being trained. When was the last time police recruits were trained in St. Lucia? They are seeing it. The police recruits are there. So even though they complain that I don't make any bold statements about crime. So I mean, that's not my style. My style is to do things. So I can't go every time and say statements that and don't back it up with any action. They're seeing it. So what we are working for are things people are seeing, people are feeling. They feel the work of the CDP in their constituencies. They feel the work, they see the work that went on Darwin Sammy grounds, Darwin Sammy cricket ground. They heard that when the audit was done, Darwin Sammy cricket grounds came first. They heard it. That's not things we are saying, Shelton. The people are seeing it and other people are saying it. They hear the projections from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank about saying the growth of the nation's economy. They are hearing it. I'm not the one saying it. They're seeing it. They're seeing the Mindo Philip Park. The Mindo Philip has been completely renovated. Right now there's an under 23 game going on there. They're also seeing the Marshall grounds are being renovated. They are seeing it.
Right.
They're seeing that in the steel band for Diamond Steel is going to come back. We've seen that the building going to be built very shortly. They're seeing that James Belgrave's Court are going to be retrofitted. They're seeing the Boston Joseph Community Center is going up. They are seeing it.
Prime Minister, maybe your government is just doing so much that it's moving at a speed that is blinding, and people can't wrap their minds around it.
They see the live shots.
I've been saying that there's one thing, the government is performing so much that to be able to grasp and to assimilate things, etc., etc. Do you believe I don't know, do you believe that your government needs to sell itself more in terms of, I see you've come with the 2021 manifesto, but I think in the last 3 years, the government, from everything I'm seeing and hearing, that it has over-delivered. We talk about promises made, promises kept, but there are things that were, that are really overwhelming even to grasp them and so on. Do you believe that is a shortcoming?
Shelton,
you're doing so much.
I believe that our government, that's how we are. We are a government of humility. We are government, and probably that may start by me. We are a government of nous pas un go wash government. We're not a go movement.
Okay.
Go movement. We're not getting involved in go movement.
Yeah.
Also, we're not a government that insults people. We will never tell the opposition you just start to cry. We're not a government that tell people that
or you lost the right to speak.
We're not a go movement government. We are government because the things I'm telling you are things people can feel. They are feeling the 1,000 scholarships that have been given. They're feeling it.
Do we need to take the commercial break? Is it essential? Okay.
They're feeling the scholarships that are given. They're feeling the programs, the Unipass program, where people are getting $10,000 to help them in their university education. They're feeling the students, the revolution in education, where students get first generation scholarships. They are going to be entering in the TVET schools, where those who are, or what I hate to use, not academically qualified, will get qualified. They're seeing it. They're seeing the TVET schools being built. They're seeing it. Shelton.
Yes.
So we're not speaking about pie in the sky. We're not talking about vision. We're talking about reality. But we're also speaking about vision. The vision of a new St. Jude. The vision of education. The vision of a new road between Viewfort and Castries. But that's vision. But why is we talking about vision? They are seeing. They're seeing the library market being built. Right? They're seeing work, the Libraries Health Center nearly finished. So what we're saying is we want people to come and work for the things that they are seeing.
Okay.
Come and work for the things they are feeling. Come and work for how St. Lucia is progressing.
Certainly.
Come and work for a sense of positivity. They are trying deliberately to make the glass look half empty
instead of half full.
That's a deliberate ploy.
When in fact it is overflowing.
Right. And I wonder why people would deliberately want to destroy a country because they are not in government.
Yes.
It concerns me greatly.
I don't know. I have not been shy of expressing my concerns about it, but this is the kind of feedback that I think you're getting all the time. One message says, "Hi Shelton and my PM. I just want to thank you, my PM, for taking out our country from where it was and where it is today. You have done it, and we pray God will continue to give you wisdom and strength to continue to run his kingdom. Thank you ever so much. It's a pity I won't be able to come to the walk because I won't be able to stay till everything is done. May God bless you always. I know you from the time I was a teen, and you have helped me in your shop you had in Viewfort. When I used to buy my toiletries, God is with you. First time I know you had a shop in Viewfort, so they put your business out there.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes. You know,
well, there was no youth economy.
Yes.
Now, okay, well, youth economy.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, talk about about that one.
Listen to me.
Yeah. Because I understand even one of your main opposition detractors, now we're not getting personal, but I understand that person should have every reason to be thankful and praising and congratulating about the youth economy. But it's like it's an impulse, it's a habit, it's a programming to always be criticizing and denigrating.
Because
even when within your bloodline, you have reason to say, hey, this youth economy thing.
I am not going there.
Yes.
And if I had a say, I would not go there at all.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
Right.
What's important here in the youth economy is the number of young people who've got supported. And then, do you know, something that never happened before, do you know the high command of the youth economy had a meeting with the leader of the opposition?
Okay. How long ago was that?
About a month ago.
All right.
Less than a month ago.
Did they scream that from their platforms, from their lives? And
they will never tell. I never tell people. No, never.
I know you said I should not have gone, or you didn't feel I should
do
have gone.
Do you think
this is exactly the kind
when
of
I was in opposition,
yes,
any government statutory board will come meet me?
No, as a matter of fact, even your constituency allocation was unceremoniously cut off.
And people don't know that.
As far as
I allowed it.
Yes.
I'm in charge of the economy.
Yeah.
The guy said to me, he said, Prime Minister, I have requested a meeting with the leader of the opposition. Right? To explain to him what's happening. He requested. He was bold enough to do that.
Yes.
Because he knows his Prime Minister. He was bold enough to request without telling me. And he arranged a meeting before he told me.
Right. Okay.
You see how bold he is?
Yes. Because
you think you could ever do that in the other regime? In the other regime, people were afraid to talk to me,
Yes.
I remember being on the airport. I remember being on the airport one day with a head of a statutory board. I will call his name. He's not there again. So he was with his boss. That was the then Prime Minister. So we were on the airport. So the Prime Minister and I, at that time, we shared courtesies. So the guy was there. And he passed me straight. I called him, I said, I said, man, come and tell me hello, what's wrong with you? Come and tell me hello now, what's wrong with you? He said, no.
Yeah,
he's afraid.
He's afraid to offend somebody.
He's afraid to offend him.
Whereas with you now,
the guy
your aides and operatives
went before me
are taking the initiative to establish respectful contact
with the leader of the opposition. And the other people there, they fool around with people, Okay. And guess what they will ask? All kind of questions. Are you the peace only get? And the guy said, what are you talking about? The guy said to him that the Prime Minister doesn't even know who gets grants.
Yeah, but of course, evil thinketh as evil
thinks as evil does.
Because evil.
But nobody will tell you that.
That the victimization.
When you talk about the victimization, why are victimization over the head of an agent that we started? I wasn't there before,
Right.
We started it. They criticized it. That guy asked to go and meet the leader. I said, go ahead. Nobody will tell you that. That'll become secret. Nobody will tell you that the Civil Association met with the leader of the opposition and his group. Nobody will tell you that. We're not vexed with that.
Yes. Prime Minister, there is a question that I want to convey to you. We'll soon be coming to the point where we have to slide live to the lotto, so it will come back to us. I've been granted extra time to spend with you today for as long as you can be here, but there's someone who is a public servant, a civil servant for that matter, who asked whether it was safe for them to come to the walk, whether it would be construed. And here's what it said. I'd read it before. Shelton, good afternoon. Our staff orders and regulations speaks to public officers not showing or wearing party symbols or publicly showing affiliation with a party. Do we have to go now to the lotto? Just slide into it when it comes, okay? Because I probably won't be looking at you. But Sunday's march is not a labor march, but rather a march of good faith and thanksgiving to the progress of the leadership at hand. I was told by my management I cannot march. I'm throwing
Management of where?
Well, I wouldn't. I don't want to say because
over civil service.
Yeah, civil service.
No. You know, again, that is the things that you see. People have a freedom of association.
Yes.
Right. Have freedom of association. You know, again, I don't want to construe that as being what I think it is.
Well, I don't know. The person is saying
the person has a right to walk with whoever they want, where they want.
Okay.
And then they decide that on Sunday they're walking from VG Field, they have the right to walk with whoever they want.
Okay.
So I want to tell the person that you can walk whoever you want, and probably tell me who told them so.
Okay.
Because that is subtle victimization. It's subtle threats.
Okay.
It's a subtle threat. And I hope employers and do not threaten the employees. You understand? I want to tell you, you can walk it wherever you want.
Right. The individual.
We live in a tell the person that's what I heard you read it when I was driving down.
Okay.
Tell the person, tell me who is the manager that said so.
All right. I can share that information with you, but I don't want to do it on air. You know.
That's a subtle threat.
Yes.
How you can tell a man to walk from VG Field to Castries? You know the amount of civil servants who are active in the campaign against us when we're in government. They used to call from their phones in the government.
All right, Prime Minister, the lotto, which is live, is going to slide in now, and then it will come back to us. It shouldn't be more than a minute. So here it goes.
Numbers for the midday draw of Friday, 23rd August 2024 were Double Daily Grand 9, 14, 16, 22. Big 4, 3, 4, 8, 7. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 2, 2. Pick 2 Multi-X 5X. 1 off 1, 6, 6. Lucky 3, 2, 1, 7. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
Now back.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues, our final program for the week, and our final program before Sunday, the 25th of August. That is the day of the Walk of Progress. Call it by its right name, Walk of Progress. Not a walk for progress, you know. There's already progress, plenty progress. This is a walk to celebrate the progress, you know, and to really pave the way. You know, just like they roll, you know, a road when they do it and so on, we're rolling it and we're preparing it and we're paving it for more progress that is to come. A lot of progress that has occurred. My guest in the studio for the first time on The Real Issues, Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre, also political leader of the governing St. Lucia Labour Party. And he is as excited as the many thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people who I think have been indicating the indication that nothing is going to prevent them from taking part in that walk of progress on Sunday. We're going a bit into extra time today, of course, and I want to thank the station management, both the radio and television department, who have graciously consented. I don't think I even needed to ask that, you know. It goes without saying that we can go into overtime for the Honorable Prime Minister, who is as excited as everybody else, and perhaps more so because he's the leader of it all. Prime Minister, do go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. Thank you very much for listeners, and thank you to management to staying with us. I just want to get back a little to health. You know, the hypocrisy in this thing is really, really sad. You understand? One of the biggest issues in the country are non-communicable diseases. Right? That's one of the biggest issues. Remember, I said, tell people to try to eat more of what they grow.
Yeah.
I particularly said, eat more bananas. I was ridiculed. Remember that?
Yes.
I was ridiculed. Yes. But like ginger ale, it backfired.
Yes.
Because, you know, when your intentions are honorable, no matter what people write, no matter all the evil intentions, it comes through. Right? What happened? What did the banana statement do?
Yes.
It created people
all
that
kinds of
all
creativity
kinds of
about the
creativity.
recipes
Now,
and
all
the meals and the
plantains,
menus. That
all kinds of things.
That's right.
You understand? That's what bananas. That's what the banana statement did. But I was ridiculed in the beginning.
Yes.
Ridiculed. I was never overweight, but I changed my diet. I went keto. I lost about 20 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay. Great stuff.
What did they say? I was sick. I was trying to lead by example. Tell people, try to avoid, because non-communicable diseases can be avoided.
Exactly.
So no matter if you put $1 billion in health, if people do not change their lifestyles and take responsibility for their own health, no government can hide that. But there are people who write all kinds of things, people who say all kinds of things just to fulfill a particular agenda.
Yes.
You understand? Why aren't we saying to people, change your lifestyle, eat better, drink less alcohol,
Right.
take less sugar, exercise more,
Eat more of our local food.
eat more of our local food.
Which are not the processed things that.
Why aren't we telling people that?
Yes. So,
Why are we blaming why is it government, and not only this government? Why are we telling people we are pretending as if the health issues began on 21st July,
Yes.
2021. Why aren't we telling people that? Why aren't we saying to people, you need to stop going to the emergency centers if you can control the impact of strokes and diabetes issues,
Right.
diabetic issues. Sorry, but we're not doing it. So I want to say back to health and come back that the health issues. No matter how much money you throw at health, unless people take the responsibility to put their health, what they can avoid. Early testing. There is the issue of prostate cancer. Now the government and cervical cancer. The government now is making these services free.
Right.
That's what you must tell
It's not
people.
a matter of people intimidated by what they will have to pay and so on. Now they can go with the assurance that you just have to put yourself there on time, on the days appointed, and you will be attended
tested.
to.
Yes. These are the positive things you can to reduce on the health bill.
Exactly.
Preventative health measures. Not hypocrisy and blaming the Minister of Finance, or blaming the Minister of Health, or blaming this Minister of Health, or blaming the other Minister of Health. What we have to do is we have to try together to work with it.
Yes.
If the people in the health service will tell you that early detection is the key. Are we taking our cervical? Are we taking our pap smears? Are we doing our prostate examinations?
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
Are we doing these things?
Checking your
our PSA.
Simple thing like checking your blood pressure.
Your blood pressure, your PSA.
Yes.
And instead, the science says if you can catch these things early, you're okay.
Exactly.
But we're not saying that.
Before
we're so political.
Before you end up on dialysis, or
Exactly.
your only hope is for a very unlikely heart transplant.
Expensive dialysis machines. People, not everybody, but why aren't we saying people? Why are we saying to people, let us look at these measures? No. Politics. Misinformation. Attacks. Because some people haven't got their way. So I want to just do something on roads.
Yes, please. You know? I was about to say that. A year of infrastructure.
Roads.
Yes.
Now, we made the point very early that infrastructure was not only about roads. You understand? And I want to get back to saving lives. When you find yourself with a stroke or with acute diabetes, in few cases, the quality of our life returns to what it was before. If you get too far.
You've lost something that you can't get back.
So what I want to tell the people is, Nusha, the men, early prostate testing, screening. The women, early pap smears and HPV vaccines for our young women.
Right.
We must tell them that. You understand? Regularly, blood pressure, regularly diabetes testing regularly. If you can't exercise, this morning I did my exercise, you're gonna have to go on the radio regularly, and not much. You don't have to spend money if you don't want to go in a gym and things. So you know your best exercise is your 2 feet on the road.
Yes.
That's your best exercise. You understand? So you don't have to have gym equipment. You know, your best exercise is walking. Let me tell you something.
And I'm happy you're bringing that up when you were about to talk about infrastructure, because there has been an effort to make our roads more pedestrian friendly. Put sidewalks so when people can go, they can take a nice walk without worrying about a vehicle rolling over the edge and coming to them.
Look at the VG, the Nelson Mandela Highway.
Exactly.
Look at it. Look at that. Do you know? It is said that 30 minutes of exercise per day, right, would help with a lot of health issues.
That's yes.
Now, people take a bus to go from Castries to Enchipu. A bus.
Well, they take a bus there from the Grosley bus stand and they go into Lucilec, and they have this nice, little walkway along the water's edge and so
now,
on.
why aren't we educating people to walk more? When I went to college, I walked.
Yes.
We walked. That was fun, walking on the road. We walked from college, right? And then it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We walked.
Yes.
Why aren't we saying to our students, boy, walk from school? We're going to pick them up in a car. You understand? My father refused to pick me up. He said, walk, boy. You understand? Because we have to live childhood obesity. Childhood obesity is a serious problem.
Yes.
And with childhood obesity, it climbs into more serious measures.
Yes.
You understand?
It kind of lays the foundation. For what is to come. And
it's the same way, Shelton, talking about education, fighting infrastructure. Yesterday, we gave $2,500 to 91 preschools. 109 preschools? 105 preschools, right? We gave $2,500. And I was saying to the I was telling you, there are some ceremonies you go to and you feel happy.
Yes.
And you see people are happy. Not people sit down and very happy, right? That happened yesterday.
No long mouth.
No long mouth. And I was saying to them, part of our crime problem, regardless of what the hypocrites may tell you, is the ability for us not to have conflict resolution. And that starts from kindergarten.
Okay.
Think about it. Somebody tell you something, a little child, you push them.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of it.
Yes, and a push back and a...
Now, in my day, it was my parents taught me to say you're sorry.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
But you can't say, my child never wrong.
Yes.
It starts there.
Everybody feel they love their children more than everybody else, love their children.
So I was saying to the preschool people, and these are things we have to discuss with our people. I was saying to the preschool people, at that level, child is 3, 4 years, you must teach that you should teach them conflict resolution. So instead of telling them to push him,
hit him back,
push him, tell him, go and ask him, can I have your toy? Can I borrow your toy? Can we use the toy at 2? That's the beginning.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
So that's why it's important that the government
respect,
looks to investing in early childhood. Early childhood. That's where it starts.
It's not just about alphabet and the numbers and so on. It's about interaction.
Yes. And then it gets to the primary school level. And so when the children come from early childhood to primary school, they're supposed to go there with a certain level of conflict resolution skills, ethics, understanding, give and take, manners. Sometimes you walk somewhere and tell people good morning, they don't answer you.
That's true.
They don't answer you. Good morning, your morning, I know you.
Yeah, more and more it's becoming. It's becoming obliterated from the culture. Yeah.
And not that. And if that constant call for war and that hatred and lie, that is making it worse.
And accusations. People are just throwing accusations and allegations left, right, and center.
We've said
and it's being said with so much blatancy right now. You stole 1.4 billion. You did, and I'm saying, just
and we have begun now to target citizens.
Yes.
Look at Alison Jean.
Oh my goodness, it's horrible.
Targeted.
It's horrible.
I mean, why must you? Because Alison Jean said she's a part of the Labour Party. That's a lady who's supposed to be a role model.
Yes.
A lady whom her son, a street in Dallas, in Texas, was called after her son.
Yes.
A lady who is a beacon for violence, for youth for violence, period. You attack her. Why? because she's a member of the Labour Party. Why? I mean, attacking people personally.
Yeah.
I mean, for things that are not true. Nowhere near the truth. But you attack it and you repeat it and people say, so what happened now? Alison Jean now is targeted.
Yes.
Now, look at how, I mean, you call it a doctor, a hurricane,
yes.
and she must be fired and she must go.
Yeah, right. Just like that, you know. But
then you ask one of my ministers to apologize for what you think he said. Well, I mean, where is the fairness in this country, Shelton?
I mean, there's no end towards the cataloguing of those things. Prime Minister, members of a staff of a statutory board are being deliberately targeted with intimidation, with bullying, and all of that, and threatened that they will suffer consequences if they don't resign.
And we applaud that, we applaud it because it may serve our political. But I'll tell you something: we will leave power, we leave government, but St. Lucia will remain.
That's right.
And you cannot destroy a country because you want to rule it. You tell people you do not know. They tell you you know.
Of course, yes, because somebody's putting in their head. Somebody's putting in their head every time that somebody's lying, somebody's stealing, somebody's dishonest. Now, I'm not saying these things are not happening, but it's like there is, and that's why I started my conversation with you. It looks like there has been, I mean, it's happening all the time. Politics is politics, but never in my life, it's not the longest one, have I ever seen such a concerted and determined attempt to burst a country's bubble, to knock the wind out of their sails, to prevent us from focusing on any good thing. Now, maybe they don't want you to have the kind of the political wind beneath your wings, so to speak. But come on, Julian Alfred, like there are people who are deliberately trying to make sure that we could not savor and revel rightfully in the moment of such a tremendous achievement by a St. Lucian and I'm not going to let you have a time to feel happy. I'm going to continuously thrust down your throat that everything is bad and Philip J. Pierre is lying to you and Ernest Hilda stole $1 billion. I mean, oh Lord, it's so
there are some people, their job is to go on a talk show every day and say these number of people, That's their job. To go on live every day and lie about the country. This morning, the guy called me, Ian Coljon.
He called you?
Yeah, he called this morning on the show.
Oh, okay.
And say, I lie about it. I mean, I said to myself, what? But gratefully, somebody called and said, I understand what you're saying. There's an opportunity cost of money.
Yes.
So if you have to raise revenue, you raise revenue by particular means as a precondition, and the means we choose is the health and security levy to fund health to increase revenue.
And not only that too, one has to place it in context on the back of their decision to reduce VAT,
But not listen to that. If you listen, the leader of the opposition went to Trinidad and made the same statement. Some tax for health and security.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that.
I mean, now there's something, Shelton. Everything they say, I see. They can now play it on a tape. They can bring tape and say Europe is part of Martinique. They can say that.
They can twist what you say, but they cannot
to bring a tape. To say where I said something.
They
can never do it.
Yes, but
I know AI may be used, but they can never say it. But we can bring endless tapes. So the march of progress, what it's about? The march of progress, is not something that. And Lisa was telling me that she heard that it's been done, I think, 2 places in the world before. I think Mexico and somewhere else.
Okay.
Yes, and Venezuela and the March of Progress. Now I didn't know that, but I felt it was time, and that's ages ago. I felt that it was time for us to enkindle a sense of positivity in our country. Many things have been in Lucia, good things. Many good things. I called some of them for you. So I thought it's time for us to bring people on the streets to express that. It's going to be celebration. We're not going hard face and we're not demonstrating. We're walking.
Yes.
We're going to be dancing and singing and having a nice time.
And showing some positive, uplifting placards and so on, positive messages. And that is why I have been saying to UWP people, even.
They can come too.
They can come,
Because The 3,000 people.
This is not a
The
polarizing.
3,000 people who got increase in pension.
Yes.
Not all them are labor, you know.
Yes. And can you imagine that 3,000 people getting a $200 increase? That's right away $600,000. You know, that's right away more than
In
half,
a month.
You know, in a month. You know, every month that
And the businesses will get immediate
Exactly.
sale, so they can pay the minimum wage.
Exactly. And that is the other thing which I find. I just don't know. The negativity does not seem to understand that when you put a little more money, a little more financial empowerment in the hands of people, and you have been explaining that for many years, and I often quote you on it about the marginal propensities and so on, that it is to the stores, it is to the places, it is the businesses that they get it to give them that fillip and so on. Sorry
That
about that. That pun was not intended, you know. But they give them a little fillip.
Yeah.
You know?
Not Philip JP.
Might as well be. Might as well be, you know.
So look at so Shelton, let's quickly on that change. Because you know, people ridicule that.
Yes.
Listen to me. A guy told me that he was 65 or something, or 64, and his wife was 62 or something, right? He got laid off from his job, so he applied for his NIC. He was getting $315.
Wow.
His wife was working in a preschool. She was getting $300. He was getting $615 every month. But he said by doing odd jobs, by his children used to help him and things. And that's again, children don't take responsibility now for the elderly parents. That's a very serious thing.
They don't feel that kind of.
And that's another thing we've done. We've increased the home care. The home care to for elderly people. We've increased that. We've increased the numbers. A thing that Kenny Anthony brought into being, and we've increased it, the home care. And we did not say that 90% of the people should be fired because they supported the Labour Party supporters. We never said so. We kept all of them, or most of them, that were there before. When we talk about victimization, you want victimization where? We kept them. We never said 90% of them should be no. We never said 70, and then increased it. We never said so. And said, oh, I made a mistake, that's 90. That arrogance of them will pass supporters. And right now, we've changed. We're so humble. And this was a victimizing people. We just changed all of a sudden. We've changed from all of y'all have to, y'all just have to cry. We've changed. We've gone through a transformation of being. You have a blood transfusion.
Some people have become so pious.
Pious and
all of that.
victimization.
And they talk about the Lord and all this. But
So-
at no time do they apologize for any of
That they've done before.
glaringly bad things that they did before.
So I'm saying back to that family. And that's why people are walking and will walk. He said to me, automatically at his home, he was getting $615. Now he's getting $1,015.
That's right.
He said, Prime Minister, you don't know what that did to me.
Yes.
A lady said, I'm a UWP. She said, Prime Minister, I've never voted for you. I'm a UWP.
I like that kind of honesty.
Right? I've never voted for you. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I'll do with the $200. And she had lying to me what she did.
And you know, a lot of people who
And that's what keeps me in politics. What keeps me in politics is not the big fuss and the big strat some politicians want, you know. It's not a matter of I'm the prime minister.
You are not a glory seeker.
No.
You're not a glory seeker. You're out to
I don't drive my car up to the plane and take out my luggage. I don't do that. In fact, the only reason why I have a security because I'm forced to. I won't jump my car and go about my business.
It's part of the protocol of the office of the Prime Minister.
So a lot of things, I don't leave my air conditioner on in the vehicle.
Don't leave the vehicle idling all day.
In fact, the guys quarrel with me. I don't use the sirens, so I'm late. Both of my vehicles are equipped with sirens.
Oh wow.
Both of them.
Okay.
I don't use sirens. I get the police new motorcycles. They begged me, Prime Minister,
Outriders.
give you one. I don't. If you see the sirens on in the Prime Minister's vehicle, it's because it's an emergency.
There is some state matter that
I have to go to.
Yes.
Right? The guys call with me all the time. They get vexed because they be. In fact, I tell the guys they must drive defensive driving. I tell them that all the time. You can ask them.
Don't shoo everybody
No,
out of
just
the way.
push in front. I say, guys, no, get behind. You understand? So I'm not a showman.
Yeah, you're not throwing your weight around.
You know?
Yeah.
So, what I want to tell you, Shelton, and Public of St. Lucia, I want to thank the Public of St. Lucia for their support. I really want to thank them for the support they've given us so far. I want to invite them, the young people who've got support from the youth economy.
Right.
There's medium and small, micro, small and medium enterprises that got support. I want them to pay their loans.
Yes.
It's important that they pay their loans. The nurses who get a stipend. You understand? The people who are here for scholarships and those who will go. Those who benefit from the first generation scholarships.
Yes.
Those are going to attend TVET, the TVET schools.
Income support.
Those of them who we pay the CXC for them, English and maths.
Yes.
Right? Those of them who $2.5 million for education support.
Right.
Those of them who got support in terms of the Unipass system, helping them to go to university. These are the people we want to come to show not their gratitude, but to show their support.
Yes, their support for the progress which they have been part of, which they are benefiting from, which they are enjoying, and which they can see. Hi Shelton, I'm seeing my community center being built in Grand River, Grosile. The PM forgot to mention that. The PM will forget to mention a lot of things. There's just so much.
And there's a preschool being built in Pralin, in your place, Shelton. In Pralin, the preschool is going up there. Yes. You understand? The work is going on the Bellevue playing field. I mean, I forget. And I want to tell you that very soon we'll be working, and that is the $60 million that they complained about. We'll be working on 17 playing facilities in the country.
Yes.
17 17.
Yes, and it's not AstroTurf or anything like that.
Okay? No. 17 playing facilities in the country. And I want to tell you even further, we're going to be doing work on new schools from the money we got from the Afrin Export Import Bank.
Yes.
New wings on schools. Okay. We are going to in all over the country. You understand? And the GPH situation, which they fought against valiantly, is going to start.
Okay. All right.
Plus St. Jude. Next month, the Saudis will be here to finally put the seal on the loan that we got.
Okay.
Remember I told you, you know that the 4 billion is built from our cash flow.
Right.
From our cash flow.
Man, you're gonna get
and then there was a tender, there was an international tender. It was the case where you stop a highway, the Grocery Highway, because they asked you an international tender. There's an international tender done with the Saudis internationally, so a local firm with a Saudi counterpart is going to be completing the St. Jude Hospital for us, and the extra will be used on the George Odlum Stadium.
Are you able to tell us about the local
cabinet is going to be cabinet is going to be forming a committee to begin work on the George Odlum Stadium transition work. Remember, we had $1.5 million in the budget for that. Remember the hue and cry? Oh, where that money going? You remember that?
Yes, for sure.
That was just foresight, looking ahead.
Okay.
So that
while you're waiting for the loan money, you need some working capital to keep things turning over.
The local firm is CIE.
Okay.
It's a firm that just constructed a hotel. Not a hotel, a hospital
in the Commonwealth of
Dominican Marigo. That's up and running.
Okay, and I'm told it's some good work. You know?
So Shelton, I want to thank you. Yes. I want to thank the people of St. Lucia. I want to tell them, come and walk with us. We're not quarreling. We're not fighting. We're enjoying ourselves.
Okay.
You understand?
Absolutely.
We want it to be peaceful. It's going to be peaceful. It's going to be celebration. It's going to be to give the government, because I did something, Shelton, this job can be a very lonely job.
Very much so.
Very lonely job, you know.
Like they say, heavy is the head.
Yeah, very lonely. And then you need that support, because you're battered every day by people, by the opposition. Most of the time, what they say is not actually, not factual. They tell you do something that you say you don't know. You are there, you do it. They call you a liar without any proof of the lies.
Right. You know, Prime Minister, now I'm beginning to understand more clearly this concerted attack on the CIP. Because if the CIP can provide that kind of financing to help with one of the most troubling, one of the most challenging areas, health and I'm sure with other areas of housing that you've mentioned, I can understand why certain people who do not want to see government delivering on those things, why they would hit the CIP, because the CIP seems to be a lifeline that they cannot sever at this point, and so their aim is to attack the CIP. We know they will not succeed. I mean, we've seen people who are bringing lawsuits for racketeering themselves, engaging in what seems to be racketeering for me, because when you're trying to practice extortion and to try to milk money through blackmail and bribery and so on, to me that is a racket in itself. But I know you don't want to go there. We want to keep the focus on the walk of progress. And I think part of the progress, the intangible one, is that our people, as you have alluded to, have become so enlightened that these things, they don't work on their minds like before. And I think thanks to you, in large part, that being straight up with people, telling them the truth, it causes them to think more clearly.
And I want to thank, it's a work in progress. I want to thank my cabinet.
Yes.
The men and women in the cabinet who sit every day and come to cabinet every Monday and work for the people of St. Lucia. It's not me. It's not an I situation. I'm not an I man. I'm a we man.
Yes.
I do things.
Careful, you know that.
I do things. No, you can be careful. I have no problems if people say whatever they want. I know the truth.
That's just my little.
We in the cabinet. Yes. We. I'm not another I. So when they say, "Oh, you Prime Minister, he's a person hiding," you know, that's people who believe that they are near God. You understand? I work with men and women. I respect them. I believe in them. And they have to report. I'm not a dictator.
Right.
You understand? So, ask everybody to join us on the Walking Boy. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you, listeners. And I tell St. Lucia, thank you, St. Lucia generally. St. Lucia has been good to the government. St. Lucia has been supporting the government. I want you to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. My very best to you for the remainder of today, for the weekend, and for the Walk of Progress on Sunday, August 25th, 2:30 p.m., starting at the VG playing field, the SAB, making its way down to the center of the city, and I'm following a route that is well known already, but I think the culmination of it on the Castries Market steps, everyone is really looking forward to that one. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another great job on our extended program today.
Thank you very much.
And on behalf of all of us here, until next time when we do it, starting Monday next week, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense